I got good news for you. Actually, been sitting on this for 2 days. Actually, when was the last time we record yesterday?
Yes.
Did we?
Yes, we did.
No, we didn't.
We didn't. You're right. We
You're on
recorded
crack.
yesterday. You're right.
No, I watched the Tolkien boy. Interrogation.
Oh, did you really?
That guy was a douche.
Right?
Dude, honestly, though, I was on the side for quite a while of the interrogation. In the beginning, I was like, this guy, he's kind of a dick, but like I would totally root for him if he was like on a TV show.
I only listened to the first 15 minutes of that one.
Didn't he look like a character in a like a 2000s TV show?
Mm-hmm.
Like he looked like he looked like he would be not the main. He'd be like he'd be the main character's older stepbrother who had a bit of like a fucking surfer boy, but also kind of tough guy way to him. You know?
Yeah, I actually thought of the exact character that fits that description. I lost it. I'm sorry.
Good on you, man.
I would say bad.
When I watched that guy, he was kind of a what's the word? A moron.
That's what I want to get into. I was laughing a lot today. I had a terrible crime, but I was laughing a lot.
Yeah, that happened. Do you want that happened worse than I'll make you feel better? Ready? I was watching this one interrogation. So this is what I do now. It's what YouTube decided for me. So I was watching one where the person wasn't talking at all. They weren't literally not saying a thing. And it's for 50, I think it was a 50-minute video. And they just kept saying like, okay. And that was it. And literally, it's not even like it was where it was like, oh, they're being smart. They're not going to give any information up. No. They have video surveillance of everything happening, like transactional or like confirmation of purchases for said items. They have descriptions of him. They have him on cam footage. They have the DNA. They have everything. He's dead to rights, and he's still just saying, "I don't know what you're talking about. I'm unsure. I'm unaware." No, that's not true. That's not true at all.
Look at me. I'm stealing TVs. That's not me. That could be anybody.
That could be anybody. Look at me, Steve Marvin. But no, he's 100% guilty. Caught video footage of him, DNA, everything. Right? But he still won't talk. But the really interesting part about why I kept watching, because usually you're thinking like, well, why would you watch one where the person wasn't talking at all? Because usually, even though you're rooting for the cops to win, you want to hear what the killer's got to say, right? Mm-hmm. I see cops all the time. All right, I don't see killers all the time. I'm curious I want to see what that psychopath is saying. But the reason I watched it when the killer wasn't talking is because the Sarge had quite the voice on her. All right? Now I'm going to be honest. It felt a little strange with some of the subject matter, but I was like, she's got a very pleasant voice. I'm just kind of like listening, smiling, right? All like, that's nice. And the interesting part, though, maybe the brother was doing a brother a hookup or something. I guess he knew how sultry this voice was. So whoever made the video, which I don't think any of these have done this before, in the subtitles, which they all have, it was actually saying the people's full names for their subtitles. I'm like, that's convenient. This must be a sign. I'm curious. Let's see what the SARS looks like, right? And I'm searching it, right? I go to a link. I find her LinkedIn page, nice. But unfortunately, no profile picture. Sets me back a few steps, right?
Yeah.
I look again. I'm scrolling, right? I come across an article for her, like commending her fantastic work, right?
Yeah.
Looked her up. Not what I had in mind. Not at all what I had in mind. And I wait till the end. Almost. I got like 40 minutes in. I was like, God, it's killing me. It's just I'm in heat. And
I'm in heat.
And I looked her up, and she looked like a sergeant. She looks like a sarge. I'll give her that.
If you're going to have a hot voice, you got to be hot.
You got to be hot. That's the rules. So now you can say how you were laughing, because I was being like, damn. I gotta go fucking, I don't remember what city it was in. Like, I gotta go visit and get arrested. That was my plan. I'm like, I'm gonna go get arrested and get interrogated by this sergeant and just cream my shorts.
I don't remember all the details, but it was...
Not that guy I was talking about in the video. He didn't remember any of the details whatsoever. And then the really crazy part, though, was they got him off on, like... the argument was like, well, he does play a lot of video games, so... He's not very social, so clearly he's just insane. And then everyone's like, yeah, I guess he must be insane. He plays video games all the time. He must be crazy. Even though they're like, do you have friends? He's like, yeah, I'll have fun. I'll have a friend. But then they were like, no, you're crazy. And I think in the end, though, they changed it from second-degree murder to 2 counts of first-degree. This guy literally like went to a fucking store randomly. He's like, all right, I'm going to buy this hat, this hatchet, this knife. All right, and I'm going to go walk the neighborhood. Who should I kill? And just decided to kill someone getting groceries, chase him in the house, killed them both, then left, and left everything behind, and then was like, not me. And like, we have ring footage of you doing it. We went to the store. All the things you bought were... This is the best part. You thinking, well, he bought how they know the hatchet was from that store? He literally bought a hatchet and a hat and a knife that all had the store's branding on it. So they constantly have to spend a lot of time wondering where these items came from. They're just like, oh, it came from the place up the street? Let's go watch the security footage.
Kids got brand loyalty.
And also, honestly, I respect that. And he didn't even fucking. It's not like he did it in 3 different trips. You know, small items here makes no. He's like, I'm gonna buy them all together in one go with my just showing everything off. It was crazy. But then when she was saying all this to him, he's like, no, not me at all. It's kind of crazy, man. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's how I would handle the situation, probably.
You think so? And also, he didn't ask for a lawyer either. He was like willing.
Dude, I always think of that all day today. Every time I heard every story, I'm like, dude, I have to
get a lawyer.
Remember, if this ever happens, ask for a lawyer.
Those are the 2 most important things to do: is always ask for a lawyer, and to remember that you can always refuse a field sobriety test, and you can always refuse a breathalyzer.
Even if you're
get a lawyer, refuse to talk, refuse a field sobriety test, and refuse a breathalyzer.
Even if I'm walking down the street,
get Bob Loblaw, attorney at law.
Even if I'm walking,
get Bob Loblaw, attorney. Respect what the show is.
Respect me for once and let me say something.
Take a step back and realize what you're doing.
I know what
Bob Loblaw, attorney at law.
Yeah, I get it. It's Arrested Development. We had to hit the quota. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Now you can talk.
No, no. This is your episode. I'm sorry.
No, it could have been. No, get to your thing. All I was going to say is, remember, that's important for me. I'm trying to teach our listeners something, okay? Always refuse a field sobriety test. Always refuse a breathalyzer. Always refuse to talk, and always ask for a lawyer. It's the 3 R's and the 1 A, okay? That's what everyone says. Remember the 3 R's and the 1 A. What were you going to say?
I have the right to remain silent.
You do have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney.
I have the right to
but everyone goes in there and says, I will not ask for an attorney, and I will keep talking, even though they explicitly said to me, I have the right to do the exact opposite. That's what I don't get. I don't understand how people who are getting interrogated, like, at some point, don't just say, I don't have to answer this. Like, I get that person has an authority figure. I guess they have a badge, right? They're a copper, okay? Still, though, at some point, just stop answering.
I would fall right into that, though. I'd be way too nervous. I would fall right into pussy mode and just could not speak.
And I can understand the people who are, like, clearly egomaniacs who go on there and say they just want to talk about how awesome they are. Like that one guy who's like, I can check your notes for you. That dum-dum. So I understand when the person's, like, just thinks, you know, their shit don't stank and that's why they talk. But it's like when the person's just actually fucking like a normal person who's just, I guess not normal. I guess normal is a very interesting word to use here. When the person's, like, somewhat competent but not entirely crazy, it's like, why don't that person just not talk and, you know, not say anything?
Because they're usually easily tricked because they're all morons.
Yeah, they are all
one way or another.
Honestly. It's true because a lot of these cops, listen, they're not the creme de la crop, a lot of these people, okay? Some of them are bottom barrels, and they're outsmarting everyone. I have yet to see one where the cop's like, oh, fuck, I guess he's right. I don't know who did it. I went in there pretty sure. Now I don't know anything. I think I might have done it. I didn't even know the girl. So what were you going to say?
The one today that I was listening to, first off, was I think 3 hours, which I did not know.
Nice. Yeah, I've had a couple of those, and like, they get these nice little titles, and like 3 hours and 47 minutes. That's a lot to commit to an interrogation. These cops must like their job a lot, or they're really maybe that's one of the ones where the people win. Maybe the 20-minute ones are the ones people lose.
Spoiler: these people did not win, and that's why I laughed so many times. Fucking this girl, she was 15 years old. And her 18-year-old boyfriend.
I actually have an important question to ask you. I'm sorry, quickly. It's like one question. You answer it. This came up in the conversation in one of the interrogations. The guy was saying, like, he's like, you know, you watch, you know, the stuff works because they're trying to like, downplay the Miranda rights. He's like, you know, try to read them to you. What do you watch NCIS? And the guy's like, I've caught a few episodes of it. I'm much more of a Law and Order guy myself. And then he's like, okay, so you understand how it works. The guy, I'm pretty much an expert.
I basically have the badge.
Pretty much. But my question is the law part of Law and Order the lawyers, and then the order is the cops keeping order, or the lawyer is the one who are the order because they put people in jail and the law is like the harsh, they're the law?
I think it's the latter.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because I have no fucking idea. Maybe it makes me an idiot. I don't know. I've never watched Law and Order because I had better things to do. So I don't know. And also,
you'd think so with everyone else.
I mean, but then again, that sounds weird because if the I don't know, dude.
Well, the cops never say stop in the name of the order.
And also, isn't that show like literally split in half?
I don't know.
Where it's like half law and half order.
Maybe.
I think it follows lawyers and cops. I feel like that gimmick sounds great
for like a season to 3 seasons.
Well, my point is just like, what about when the cops suck or when the lawyers suck and you just like left that now you're going to like a shitty story. Like, there's gonna be bad storylines. You're gonna get half of a good episode and half of a bad episode.
Or maybe they do the Richard Linklater approach where they do 2
1 half good, 2 half. Yeah, maybe. What was your point of your story?
This 15-year-old girl, her 18-year-old boyfriend, and the town's Boo Radley killed her father. I'm sorry, and it's hard to even understand the details because nothing that she said made any sense at any point.
That's always fun.
And she thought she was so smart that as soon as the cop walks in, she goes, your name's Elena, right? And she goes, I have the right to remain silent, which is like what I said before.
Correct.
And she's like, saying, well, can you tell me your name's Elena? I have the right to remain silent.
You know, I think talking about that actually is that the best way to express your right to remain silent, which you might think would be to say out loud, I have the right to remain silent, but in actuality, the best way to express your right to remain silent is actually to remain silent.
Wow. It's like, who'd have thunk that one?
I know. It sounds like a revolutionary idea, almost one of those things like the other day where I said there's no way that, cult isn't just taken as far as the handle. Well, you can actually just not say you're going to remain silent and actually get the point even better by remaining silent. But by the third time they ask you a question, like, oh, I guess they're remaining silent, they pick up on it themselves. You don't rush the ending.
And then they feel stupid for not picking up on it originally.
Exactly.
So you already got that superiority.
Exactly. That's why you don't skip to the last scene of the movie first.
They're like, oh, this guy's good.
Mm-hmm. You gotta build like the final line. Is the final line of the movie cool? Is the one-liner cooler when it's random, or when the one-liner is because like that's what the guy said in the beginning of the movie?
That's usually how it's cool.
That's when it's cool. Yeah.
I am Queens Boulevard. I'm stealing it from you.
I am Queens
I
Boulevard.
always wanted to say that line. You always going to say it, so I had to steal it because that's such a good line.
So what happened with this very sure of herself young lady?
First off, I didn't watch. I was just listening to it, and the smugness in her voice thing. I just outsmarted you, bitch, with the fucking other right to remain silent. It was so fucking funny. I don't even remember what she was saying because I think she said made sense. Then she tried claiming her name was Rain, but she also answers to Flower or something like that.
That's awesome.
And then
that chick should be freed.
So she got the 18-year-old boyfriend is like afraid of his shadow and whipped so tightly around her finger.
That's cool.
He kills,
as all men should be.
He's one that kills her father on her behalf, and he basically admits to it right out the gate.
Dude, sounds like American Beauty.
Yeah, kind of actually.
That's awesome.
But only it's not as good. You think sometimes you think art imitates life, but actually no, art's just way more.
Art's just way better than life. Yeah. Because life sucks.
Oh, that was pretentious. I hate I said that.
No. It only became pretentious when you said it because it was like a real cool like off the cuff. Like, fuck the establishment for a second, but then you made it into a douchey expose. Yeah,
I'm stupid sometimes.
Yeah, man, it happens.
So he admits to it right out the gate.
Someone's got to be the bench warmer.
She keeps trying to pin it all on Boo Radley. Yeah. And Boo Radley comes in, he's acting all nonchalant. He's like trying to act like he's the most cooperative guy with the cops.
This is nice.
And they're like, so why'd you get involved? I was like, well, I have a service where I help people who are trying to run away. And I'm a protector of sorts to help them get into a city. And first of all, this guy does not have any such business at all. It's been a lifelong goal of his, but this is a figment of his imagination.
Yeah.
He is autistic, they said, and bipolar.
Okay.
And
dynamite combination.
So he's talking and he's being friendly with them, and he's like, "Can I get a cigarette break? I get nervous when I talk about with a cigarette or whatever." So yeah, sure, I'll get you a cigarette, no problem.
We talked the other day about how there's not enough smoking in this country.
I know.
I found out there's actually quite a bit of smoking going on in police interrogation videos. Almost everyone I'm seeing, I'll talk after I get it. Some guy literally agreed. I'm not even kidding you. The title said it. The title is like, guy agrees to confess for one cigarette. I'm like, bullshit. And I put it on, and it's only like a 10-minute interrogation because he was just like, straight, dude, I'm guilty. Give me a smoke, and I don't even care what the brand is. Give me something to smoke, and I'll say what you ever want. And they were like, all right, cop runs out, comes back, and he's like, all right, there's no one here who smokes. We're somehow out of cigarettes, but they're running across the street to get you cigarettes. Do you care what brand it is?
That's great.
He's like, I don't fucking care. I just want to smoke something.
That's fucking great. Dude, that's fucking respect for that guy.
Dude, that guy should get I don't even care what the crime was. I don't remember. I don't care.
Yeah, I probably should have said that before I said
he was charismatic. No, I don't give a shit. I don't know what the crime was, okay? But whatever it was, he should be served, but he should get the most lenient sentence possible. So if it's like, 15 to 10... Sorry, 15 to 30. Let's give him 15.
15 to 30. Let's just say
let's bump it down to 10, eh?
7 and
how about 10 with good behavior at 5?
Yeah,
it's a wazzy, it's a woozy, Hey, whoa! You're gonna give me a whole 15? How about a little wiggle room here, huh?
A little bit of wiggle room here.
What do you think about that, eh?
Oh, that was the thing we gotta watch, the Wiggles thing.
Oh, yeah, the Wiggle, yeah, the defunct land, dude. Yeah, they're like,
sorry,
these guys are watching.
Yeah, sorry.
Wait, hold on. This podcast, they're watching the Wiggles Dark Ride on Defunct Land. And then that guy's like, that's not where I thought my viewership would come from, but okay.
Fucking so they're talking. He's like, "Can I get a cigarette break?" They go to get him a cigarette.
Dude, cigarettes break
Then all of a
people
sudden
together.
he goes into he's talking like this for most of it. Then all of a sudden he becomes
Dan Carlin got arrested.
no. Then he starts talking to himself in the room.
Yeah.
And I heard it's a tactic. Apparently, cops let them
Yeah.
talk to themselves, see if they're just going to say something. Because
Yeah,
talking. Motherfucker's in there an hour and a half. Doing his Richard Dreyfuss voice.
That's awesome.
Well, actually, I'm a superhero, and I'm way smarter than you cops. 'Cause you have a donut kink. And I can beat all of you up, see? And you're gonna let this girl get away with me? He swear to God, he's talking this way. It was so fucking bizarre.
Dude, honestly though, props to him for committing to the performance.
And he's like, "Here's what we're gonna do, because I'm smarter than all of you. You're gonna release."
Is he verbalizing that?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
But I don't know if he. First off, they don't think he knew he was being recorded for this, so he's just verbalizing all this in a different voice to himself.
That's weird.
Because he's
whoa. Wait a minute. Are you saying they weren't even in the room for this part?
This is when they went to get him cigarettes.
Oh my God. That's that shit is admissible, man.
Dude, so he is bipolar, which explains a lot, but it's still crazy as shit. And the narrator kept going, "This is the most disturbing interrogation we've ever had."
Nice.
Fucking. So he's saying,
I love these narrators on these videos do a pretty good job of not talking too much.
But they're so biased.
No, they are. That's what I was gonna say. They do a very good job of like letting the scene play out. But then when they've decided the scene is over, they're like, "Yeah, that guy's a fucking idiot, isn't he? Yeah, he's fucking stupid and guilty, and we hate him." And you're like, "All right, I guess I hate this guy. I was kind of in the middle. I was on the fence, but I guess you really changed my mind."
You notice how he crossed his arms? That means he's fucking guilty.
He is guilty. Do you see how he's breathing? That's involuntary. No, he's guilty.
You notice how his breathing pattern changed because he had a hiccup? That means he's guilty.
Why would he be drinking water? Because he's thirsty? No, because he's guilty.
This son of a bitch did it.
This guy's... And then you're like, yeah, you know what? I never thought of it that way. But yeah, I guess he's guilty. One of the ones I was watching, though, the guy actually said, while you could argue he shifted to change his position to be more comfortable, it could also reflect
for every
this.
35 times he's blaming him, he throws one of those little nice little compliments in there.
Maybe I'm grasping at straws here.
Fucking, and then he's saying, "You're going to release them and let them go free, or else I'm going to unleash my bipolar on all of you." And that was a direct quote.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay,
yeah,
hour and a half he's doing
like
this.
The fucking Batman and Robin freeze gun that Arnold carries around. That's what he's visualizing in his head. That's his fucking. He's like, "I want to unleash it on you." And he pulls out. He gets a cool catch. Like, what's Arnold's one line? Like, "I have a chilly time," and he walks. What does he say? I don't know what he says. I don't know what he says.
Fuck, I don't remember it either.
He's like,
"Stay cool."
That might be it. Stay cool, and then he goes away. I don't know.
I think that's it, but stay frosty, friends.
Yeah, that's the one. Like, that's great.
Fucking. So the girl was like, just insane, and like the fact that every time she thought she outsmarted them, she's like, she said the dumbest thing possible. And the other kid, just listening to these people get caught in their lies is the funniest thing in the world. That is fun
too. That is fun. It is fun, especially when it's like every once in a while they get tripped up in a weird way where it's like
I've yet to hear one of those. Usually it's the dumbest way
Usually it's the dumbest one. Usually it's where the guy's like, "Did you go over there? So is this the first time you ever went to his house?" Yeah. And then 5 seconds later he's like, "So I was there last week." He's like, "I'm sorry, did you say you went there twice?"
The one that killed the guy's son?
Yeah,
I just listened to that yesterday.
The bicycle.
Like,
I didn't have a bicycle. Actually, I do have a bicycle. I was combining the 3 visits to 1 visit.
Yeah, for convenience here. What the fuck does that mean?
I'm sorry. This is the police work. This is where the details are actually the most important.
I think the cop said that directly, dude. That's
that guy was funny. That was the guy who.
I didn't want to tell you I have a bicycle. I thought you thought I was a biker gang, like on a motorcycle.
And then he's like, "No, I said pedal bike." And then they kept saying pedal bike. I kept saying, "Did no one in this town ever hear the word bicycle?"
Apparently not.
Because when I hear bicycle, I think of a bicycle.
Yeah, exactly.
And when I hear motorcycle, I think of a motorcycle.
It's really weird you think that way. Such a concrete
I know, I don't know. And then they kept going with, no. We'll make it really clear. We'll say pedal bike.
I think the one I listened to today was probably the best one I heard.
Also, that one started off made me uncomfortable. That guy, because that detective was like, "Yeah, you're hot as shit. My wife wants you." And then he was like, "I know."
What?
You didn't hear that part?
No.
That was like the opening line. The guy walks in, he's like, "You're wearing a hot piece of man ass."
Yeah, I was saying you're.
And then he's like, "My wife would fucking just violently shake."
It's true. She just said it right there. She said to me before I
She
came in
fucking loves you. And then he's like, "I know." And it's like, why do you know that?
I know.
I know. Yeah, I know. Such a good song. Yeah, I know.
It is such a good song.
So
it's the funny,
ferocious.
dude. I'm sorry I busted your balls the other day for fucking saying you like these dude, it's all I've been listening to. Good. I can't get enough of it. I downloaded the Investigation Discovery app so I can log in to listen to people discovering it tomorrow.
So good.
The only problem is some of them don't work.
Some of them suck.
No,
every once in a while. Here's something I realized. Okay, I like male killers a lot more than I like female killers.
I wouldn't go.
And I have no bias between female detectives and male detectives, but apparently I think female killers are they're a little too cocky. They have an extra layer of like, they're not gonna catch me. They don't know shit.
Oh fuck! The one I was listening to today, the girl had that airy confidence. I'm like, this is hilarious that this girl's being so fucking twist.
It just
the
comes
cop
to the
was trying to frame her.
That's awesome.
She was being that cocky because she was completely correct.
I watched one of these videos too where it fucking talked to someone for 10 minutes and then I was like, this person is not guilty. And then I was right, they weren't guilty. And then it cut to the actual interrogation of the guilty person for like 15 seconds and then it ended the thing. I was like, what the hell did I just watch? Why did I watch 10 minutes of someone who turned out not to be guilty? And then I did it.
The best part is when I'm listening to them, because they don't have any starting or ending music, it almost just sounds like it's the exact same case. Yeah. So they'll just blur into one massive psycho I'm listening to.
I watched a couple of videos about a guy with schizophrenia as well, who was like recording himself having a schizophrenic episode.
That sounds terrifying.
It was interesting to watch, but the weird part was, so the first video was like 4 years old, and then he had like 2 more videos that were like back to back that were like, I don't know when they were from today, but they were like 4 years apart from the first video. And the first video I watched, and I was like, all right, this is a little intense, but for the most part, I'd say this kid's got a handle on it. And then the next 2 videos, in which he kept saying he's in a much better spot than he was then, to me, in my unprofessional opinion, seemed like he had a way worse handle on it, and that things had progressed severely. But he kept saying, and so did his girlfriend affirming, like it wasn't as bad anymore, but I left with the complete opposite opinion that, no, this seems way worse than it was before.
I feel like that's usually the case.
But I was also incredibly intrigued watching it, and it was interesting. The guy was talking about fucking...
Was this like a video, like diary, basically?
Yeah, a vlog or whatever, of him just sitting there talking about how... it was... Dude, I was watching it a little... what's the word?
Hold on, so what did you just
high?
cut? That sounds terrifying.
I was super, super high watching it. And then here's where God said, you confident in your life choices, right? Okay. I looked up online, just schizophrenia in general. I want to read their Wikipedia page on it. But fucking Google has to think it's cute and post little blurs before you like quick information. Even though I didn't click on that fucking link, it's like, here's a little blurb. Here's what medical professionals say. Here's a diagnosis. Here's the symptoms.
I think it's the most convenient thing in the world. You don't like that?
It's not convenient when you're really high and you look up schizophrenia, just curiosity to read about it.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right.
And then it says, could be caused from smoking in your adolescence. I'm like, shut the fuck up. No, it can't. It won't happen when I'm 37 years old. No, it won't. Stop. So that was fun to read.
I think you're in the clear.
And then the guy, I'm awesome. And then the guy was talking about how,
I think we would have developed with us by now.
The weird part was, or the scary part was him when he'd randomly be talking to his girlfriend and then say, there's a man in the corner peering around. I can't see his face, but he's laughing at us.
That guy might be lying, because I'm almost certain that almost all schizophrenic cases are auditory, not visual.
No, there usually are. No, that's true. It's way more. It's like,
which sounds way less scary. Which sounds really ignorant.
Apparently, I don't know. I would have agreed to that until I watched someone talking as it was going on.
Oh yeah, I guess.
I would have 100% agree with you.
I guess it'd be internal, not like you're hearing an echo outside.
It's both. It's everything. He thinks his phone's ringing. He answers the phone, and he thinks he's on a phone call, and the person's telling him to kill himself. But he looking at his phone. There's no phone call happening. But he's hearing a person talk to him.
Oh, for fuck's
sake. It's way worse. I'd rather see things than hear things.
I don't know. That sounds terrifying. There's no guru reality.
But apparently, like the overarching, it's not just made like he's trivializing to a character. The apparently his recurring delusion is that like the I don't know if he was necessarily saying KGB or whatever. Like basically, there's communist spies out to get him. So like he was talking about. He was like it was the really the intense part was him talking like when he was having the thought and then he was verbally saying, I can't follow the thought. God. I can't follow the thought. I can't follow. I have to look outside. And he'd peer out the window and see if anyone was standing there. But most of his stuff was auditory. It wasn't very visual. But occasionally he would, I feel like it was all auditory, and then he would just see like almost singular things. Like it wasn't like he'd see a person in the corner, that kind of stuff. And then he was talking about how he had an imaginary friend who he hasn't heard from in years. I know. It's not funny. It's not funny.
I know it's not. It's not. It's a little funny, but it's not.
But it's not funny at all.
Fuck, dude, I didn't expect that at all of what you were going to say.
I know, that's why.
I had an imaginary friend, too. I forgot about him, though.
And he was saying that he hasn't heard from him in years. It was just interesting. The whole thing was weird. But also,
dude, I'm starting to get
crazy.
scared. I have schizophrenia.
No,
just from listening to
dude,
this.
no, 1,000% you do not.
No, like I'm getting paranoid as shit.
No,
like after watching an Andrew Tate thing where he's like, I never wear headphones because what if someone's gonna try? That guy tried to stab me. I never wear headphones again, and I'm wearing headphones every day when I walk out to my car now. Like motherfucker,
well,
I'm fucking looking over my shoulder nonstop.
Yeah.
It is dumb because it's not like I'm in the fucking. I'm not in the fucking. Not in those places. I'm not hanging where Andrew Tate hangs out. So I don't have to worry about that kind of thing.
Yeah, Romania.
Yeah, I'm not.
We're actually crazy, believe it or not, U.S. citizens.
Yeah, these are our actual accents.
Mm-hmm. It's true. You gonna get to a point at any point or no? I think you kind of took the stage there and then just immediately fluttered.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, I lost that point.
Yeah, what was that? Was there a point in there?
Yeah, I'm getting super paranoid looking over my shoulder.
You don't have schizophrenia.
It starts with paranoia, dude. It's paranoid schizophrenia, dude. Did you hear the order of those words? It starts off with the paranoia.
You did the same thing again, where you seem like you're taking the floor for a point, but I know for a fact you have nothing to say.
No, I finished speaking. It's your turn.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
So, so that was interesting to watch, and I was reading a bunch about it, and but then the other thing that was interesting too was. It was just crazy. The whole thing was. There was one part that got really scary, and props to his girlfriend. I have no idea how the hell she was handling it so well.
Is she real?
Yes, she appeared to be. To be fair, again, this isn't funny, but she was never on camera. She was off camera the whole entire time. But I also heard her. So unless it was a shared thing,
auditory schizophrenia.
Yeah, unless it was a shared thing, I believe she's real. And then everyone is just like, "You guys are actual people. You guys are monsters. This is offensive." And it's like, no, I said it's very interesting multiple times. Okay, interesting things can also kind of.
But you're not the host. I'm the sidekick.
It's
so it's
true.
fine.
So it's fine. That's off.
The host isn't doing anything wrong.
Yeah, exactly. You can't control what your guests say.
That's true. I'm the asshole.
Exactly. It's off my back.
We really need to get that couch of friends. We can blame it on them.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Plus, honestly, the more people talking, the less people are actually listening.
True. The less we have to do. Well, less you have to do.
Too. Well, yeah, you do nothing.
Yeah,
I do literally
actually, you
everything.
might be more controlling, and it'd just be three of us sitting here going,
That's
"Yes,
true.
Alex."
That could work. Maybe you'd feel less of a need to speak so much. That could be cool. That'd be a nice little experiment to try. Maybe you're right. Maybe we should invest in that. So there'd be less inclination on your end to think that I should fill the silence right now. I should say something.
But would you think then?
Would I think? Are you thinking it?
Would you then?
Hold on. Question. Side question. Are you thinking it? Is that what you're thinking right now?
I don't know.
Because then I wouldn't be thinking that. That's what you're thinking.
Okay,
that might clear up a lot of future questions too.
Yeah,
if you're thinking it, no, I'm not thinking it.
I think our relationship just got a lot better. That clears up
reborn.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah, if you feel like you're like, oh God, now I see.
Yeah, well, now I don't have to fucking ask you anything ever again.
Just save all those questions. The answer to all of them is
Which
no.
actually make my life easier, because then if I ever go, is Alex gonna say this? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be stupid. You don't have to say that. I just keep my mouth shut.
Dude, I think you cured me of my anxiety.
Well, hey, man, they always say that, every great company pivots.
You should be a therapist.
Here's the.
That should be a therapy podcast.
That should, yeah. Honestly, yeah. Fucking, we'll just have call-ins, and and they're like, yeah, I don't know. We're gonna shut you down. Like, why are you shutting me down? It's free speech. It's like, yeah, but you're doing a lot of these calls, people, and the results are coming back, and let's just say, not a lot of second-time callers, okay? Not even really a lot of people got the option to call twice, if you know what I'm saying. So your advice isn't really helping too many. Like, all right, you know what? Fine. Don't want to hear them. I have to listen.
I don't think many of our subscribers are going to understand this reference, but I listen to their problems and write lyrics and make poems. I'm not trying to kill anybody. I don't think I was going to get that reference, but I felt like it was kind of appropriate to the hotline idea you just brought up.
I like it.
I feel like our reference.
I feel like it could have been cooler. I feel like it could have been even a little cooler if you just said the thing all like arbitrarily.
I didn't know if you'd understand it if I didn't preference it saying it's a reference.
So again,
I think you would have then said some of those times.
What'd you think?
Sorry.
So you were doing what? You were thinking again for a second?
I can't believe I was so ignorant.
It's always like one step forward,
yeah,
2 steps backwards.
I learned today that no matter what happens in my life, whether I read it or I learn a lesson, I forget that lesson. I forget what I read. I never actually evolve or grow or mature or change or ever. I'm just the same idiot I've been for my entire life.
Quite an existence.
So unfortunately, Alex, while I thought maybe that cleared some of the air for
anything at all.
Guarantee you next episode we're going to run into the same problem.
One other one I watched, honestly, I actually stopped watching it because I got bored. And you're thinking, that's interesting, Alex, that you can just play God and get bored of life and death. But, well, it happens. I was watching one with this, like, gorgeous, and that's why I was interested. It wasn't even an interesting crime. It was pretty rudimentary. But I was like, well, this, quite the looker. And I'm looking, and I'm looking, and I'm looking, and I'm looking. And then they finally do the reveal of what her, she was, like, getting with some married guy, right? And I was hoping it was going to be like, all right, this guy better look like fucking Chisholm, right? But instead of Chisholm, it's just bottom dollar bench warmer and plain-faced, unattractive, and she was like crazed about him. Like literally when you watch a porno with a hot stalker chick, okay, she was like, all I want is to have sex with you, okay? That's my entire existence. And then, but she said, but this fucking guy, not a goss, I'll call a spade a spade. This good looking woman fucking was like, that's my prize. I set my sights on that. And honestly, that's what kind of I got disinterested when I realized that this is the essentially the trophy husband that's being fought over between this actual wife. He was married, so his actual I think I stopped watching. I think the good looking lady might have been a little crazy. I think she might have killed the wife potentially. I stopped watching because I became very disinterested. What?
It's too rudimentary, like you said.
No, yeah, it wasn't even that. I genuinely became disinterested when I saw how Usby the toy at the end was that came with the Happy Meal, and I was like, really?
Was he super wealthy?
No.
Was it in like a town where like he's the only guy?
It was like in a fucking.
This was Utah, right?
No, it was like fucking Oklahoma or some nonsense. Okay, some flyover state, and she was like 20 and hot, and he was like fucking 50 and not.
Oh, there's the problem. She has daddy issues.
No, I don't know. They talked about her family. Her family seemed pretty dope. Okay, seemed like she had everything going for her. I think she came from a more wealthy family than this guy. None of it made sense. It was honestly offensive, and you're thinking like, yeah, murder's kind of offensive, and it is actually. Yeah, I quite agree with you, especially in this case. But I stopped watching. I don't know. She probably went to jail, I'm assuming. Maybe. Again, I started because, in the beginning I was like, let's see if she's innocent or guilty, right? Because, again, in this country, innocent until proven guilty. So until I know for a fact she's guilty, I can say she's gorgeous, right? Mm-hmm. But then I was like, no, she's guilty. If this is the kind of man she's going to choose to go crazy over, I don't want any part of this, Because a lot of time you see the creators, like, I can fix her, right? But not this one so much, because now you're just completely broken. You have bad taste. That's one thing you can't come back from is bad taste, right? You can go from fucking poor to rich. If you got bad taste, you got an ugly fucking house.